As you can see here, we have a 2-pack Legacy Evolution, Humble Origins, Senator Shockwave, and Data Clerk Orion packs. Again, you see there the artwork for Senator Shockwave and Data Clerk Orion packs, which looks really, really cool. Legacy Evolution. Over here on this side, we got the Legacy Evolution artwork. And then over here on the left, looks like you got a bit of a peek on the next 2-pack for this set. Over here in the back, again, robot and vehicle modes. This is the Seeker mold, the Cybertronian Seeker mold, which have done some retooling to get this figure. That looks really cool. And of course, Orion packs. I don't recall what exactly. This may be the Hound, or I think he came out as Detritus figure, that mold. But it looks really cool nonetheless. Data Clerk Orion pack, Senator Shockwave, Humble Origins 2-pack. So yeah, I'll open this up and give you guys a bit of a better look. As we get going here with Data Clerk Orion packs and Senator Shockwave, this is the way these guys come packaged in the box in their alt modes. Accessory wise, for Senator Shockwave, you don't get really any accessories. The wings here do come in packaged separately, and they can come in and out with a peg, so you can take those in and out. But that is it for him. For Orion, he gets all the accessories. He gets a gun that essentially comes in 2 pieces here. This little round piece comes packaged in separately, and you could tap that in here to kind of use that as, I guess, a bit of a magazine. But it's a cool little looking gun in like a dark gray metallic. And he also does get a cool axe. The handle here is all the same dark gray as the gun. He's got this blue peg here so he can hold the axe in his hand, and the orange is done really well here. Nice details, and it's a nice glossy orange. It's a cool little axe. Love the details they've added here on the edges, on the blades essentially. So really cool. But that is it for accessories. Moving on to the actual figures. Obviously this is a 2-pack, so you're going to get both of these. Let's concentrate first on Data Clerk Orion packs. This is pretty much the Hound mold. I had completely forgotten this came out first. This 2-pack came out first before Hound did, so I had forgotten that this guy here was actually based on Hound, because Hound came out way after. As far as what I like about this mode is essentially the colors, again being red and blue, based on the fact that this guy will become Optimus, so those colors are done really well. I also appreciate that they added this whole back section to hold the back of the legs in this mode a little more together, so it's a lot more solid feeling. We have this cage here with this nice blue window. Right now it reminds me a lot of a Halo vehicle. Sights, again, I think are really well done. Love the way the wheels are done. They're really nice and thick, so a good size. But overall, again, if you have Hound, this is pretty much the exact same mold. Obviously, they've done some retooling to give it a bit of a different look and details. So, but I do prefer this one a lot more than the Hound one. It does have some of the same drawbacks, I guess, particularly around the backside here. Just feels very hollow. There should be an extra panel here to cover these knees or these joints anyway, so it kind of feels a bit unfinished back here. But other than that, I do again like this molding. He rolls really well in place. So to compare him, for example, to Hound, again, they've done, I think, since this came out first, I'm going to assume they use this to retool this, but I know this figure had been announced a while, or it was shown off for a bit before it was actually released. But once you put these two side by side, you can clearly tell these are based on the same mold. You know, you can see the feet sort of hanging down here on the side. Transformation, again, as I said, is pretty much the same steps, so no difference there. And like I said, the back here still has that sort of empty gap, unfinished look. As I mentioned, they added here for Orion this whole little piece of plastic to give it a bit more solid feel, whereas here on Hound there's not really anything, and my figure a lot of times the legs want to come off apart. So again, I appreciate that they added this piece because it kind of brings the two legs together better. Other than that, you could see here on the bottom, pretty much the exact same setup and transformation, exact same steps. They look pretty similar from the side. Obviously you could see the feet here on the sides and the arms sort of hanging down. But overall, I will say if you have this one, you'll be very familiar with the Orion mold here. So now let's bring in the next one, which is Senator Shockwave here in his Tetrajet mode. This of course is based on the Siege mold that we've gotten for Thundercracker, Starscream, Skywarp, and a bunch of the Rainmakers as well. So again, they've essentially taken that and retooled it, and I think what's been done here is pretty cool. Again, I love the fact, and I'll show you guys in a second and compare it to the original Tetrajet. They've taken the wings off of that and retooled this to give us this nice big intakes with this red color here, which stands out quite a lot, and it looks actually really nice. These panels here on the back, again, look really cool. They've taken the whole chest here, that's what this is, and integrated it really well, so it looks really cool. And you know, the addition of the smaller wings here kind of give this guy a different look from the Tetrajet here. Again, this is because it's based on that Siege mold. The transformation is exactly the same, some little different steps because of the retooling of the wings. But other than that, if you like that mold, you will like this one. I think it's really well done. I definitely love the colors. Love the blue window here, and I think these massive intakes to the left, under, or the right make this mold, or this mode rather, very, very unique here. So really, really cool. And for comparison, let's bring in one of the Siege molds. This is Nacelle, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I'm not sure, someone I'm sure will correct me. But this is pretty much the Tetrajet comparison here that I wanted to show, right? So they're essentially taking this whole wing section here and retooled it into these two giant intakes, which again in my book look really cool. You don't have these null rays like the Tetrajets do. In this case, they've opted for the wings, the little wings that go on the arms, and in here you could see the back and how they look. Love again the whole chest piece for Senator Shockwave here. I think they've done an awesome job, and as I said, these transformations are pretty much the same. So again, if you're familiar with this mold, if you like this mold, you will definitely love Senator Shockwave. Let's start off here with Orion. We'll move Shockwave for last. And he looks pretty cool. I do wish he was a little taller, but I think I do like this one, actually prefer a lot more than Hound itself. We've got the red and the blue going there, pretty well done. We've got the Orion / Optimus head that in my opinion is done really well. He does have some issues, again similarly to Hound. The legs are just hollow and kind of just sitting there. And he does have a bit of a backpack, but you know, it kind of blends in really well from my perspective. Love the way the chest is done here with the lines and the bumper and the headlights. So again, that's really cool. And the red and blue and gray, again, the paint is really well done. It's a nice little figure. I do, for some reason, love the way the feet look, again, with the rest of the robot. I think they fit in a lot better than they did on Hound. I don't know if it's the color blue itself, but I do think this one looks a lot better. As far as articulation, his head can move fully around. He can look up, not too much, but he can't really look down. The arms here, you know, some pretty good articulation, so you are going to be getting some good poses out of this guy. The hands here are rotatable as well. Your waist here, you can fully rotate as long as you move this back piece out of the way, but you can do that. You can kick. You've got way more than 90 because of the hollow legs, and you've got ankle articulation here. So again, you'll be able to get this guy in some decent modes, decent poses rather. So there you go. I think he looks pretty cool. As I said, his weapons he can certainly hold in both hands. Here, so that's his axe, which does look pretty cool, and here is the gun. So I do think the accessories this guy comes with make him look really cool. Again, And just to give you a bit of a comparison, here he is next to Hound in robot mode. This is the Hound that came with the 5-pack of Autobots from, I believe it was Legacy United. But here you could see again some of the differences and similarities. Obviously the whole chest region is completely different to what we got in Hound. But you could see the hands, the forearms are all pretty similar, just different colors. Same thing with the feet, they were retooled. But again, I do prefer the way the feet look here on Optimus. I think they've done a way better job. And then moving on to the back, Hound here does not have too much of a backpack, but you still got the hollowness on the legs here on Hound that you get on Optimus. So again, very similar molds, very similar transformation. I won't go through that transformation in this video. I'll probably just link my review for this guy, and you guys can look at the transformation there, because again, it's pretty much the exact same. But that's Hound and Data Clerk Orion packs, so we'll move them out of the way. And moving on to the one that intrigued me the most, right? Me being a fan of G1, when I hear Shockwave, I think of a purple robot with a laser hand and one eye for his face. So when I saw this initially, I was like, whoa, well, who is that? So again, I am somewhat familiar with the IDW comics, but wasn't too much into it. So I'm actually kind of glad that they're doing things with the comics where they're expanding on, a character like Shockwave, where he actually has a background and he looked different, and he was a senator, and I believe there was a part where his fellow senators, I guess, just did not agree with him and decided to, I guess, take him apart piece by piece and replace his body with essentially the one-eye head that he has. I think they had a specific name for it, like Imperata or something like that. But so this is what Shockwave looked like before that purple unfeeling, a cold logistical bot that we all know and love. And again, this being in Tetrajet mode, I think they've done a great job with the retooling. Certainly, I prefer the retooling they've done with this one versus the Orion packs figure, because this looks really cool. The chest here again looks really nice with the red and blue and the light and the gray all around it. Looks pretty cool. The face itself, again, I believe from looking at the comic, pretty much what you got there. And I think again they've done such an awesome job of retooling or giving us a brand new head and face. And then moving on down here too, around the waist area, they retooled that whole section, so everything looks pretty much different there. And again, these intakes on the back, which are the wings, essentially, awesome job with this nice big chunk of plastic just hanging out the back. It certainly gives him a bit of a different look, but he looks awesome, I gotta say. Pretty awesome. Articulation wise, you're going to get the exact same thing you got with the Siege Tetrajet, so they can't really look up and down much, but you can rotate the head fully around. Your arms here have good rotation as well on the shoulders, the elbows. These wings can get in the way, so you can move them out of the way as needed, and the hands here can rotate, so again, that's really cool. The Tetrajet mode, again, that this is based on, always had some waist rotation, which is pretty cool because a lot of the Seeker molds don't have this waist articulation, so it's cool that this one has it. Again, you move forward, kick that much, you can pretty much do way more than 90, so you can put him in some cool flying poses here. You can rotate the legs individually. You got ankle articulation, not too much, but again, the ankle can move back and forth, and you can move these in and out as well. And the wings are also, they can rotate up and down, or you can move them also in and out like so. So if you wanted to give him a bit more pronounced backpack, you can. Me personally, I kind of extend them out and put them at angles, so it kind of looks like that. But overall, out of the 2-pack here, this one would be my favorite. Again, he looks pretty good. And then to compare him here to the actual Siege mold, here's Nacelle again. So you guys can see, obviously, no null race here like this one has. The chest was completely redone. The waist pieces, and again here on the waist in the center, completely different piece. The head, and then they were able, again, as I mentioned, to retool the wing section here. And you could see them better from the back, right? So they essentially took these two wings and gave us this nice larger intakes, which kind of gives this figure, I think, its character. But overall, I would say great job. And I think center Shockwave here, even though it's not the Shockwave that I'm familiar with, after becoming a little more familiar with that IDW version and looking at the comics and getting a better idea of the backstory and the way he looks in that comic. So we're going to go ahead and wrap up the video. But overall, I am really happy with this 2-pack here. Definitely glad that they're expanding the toy lines to include everything, you know, G1, any kind of the other Transformers movies, right? And in this case, IDW comics. Do some comparisons before we wrap up the video. Gonna give us a bit more space here. So we have Orion there on the left, and Senator Shockwave on the right. So to start us off, here he is next to Starscream, and then here on the left we'll put in the Orion packs. This is the Orion that came with that I think Humble Origins 2-pack that's based on the G1 cartoon episode, where they showed essentially how Optimus Prime came to be per the G1 lore cartoon. So just want to show you guys there the two robots there together. And let's just throw some random stuff in. So here he is next to a Sweep or Scourge from Studio Series 86. And similarly, here is another this is Alpha Trion, again from that same 2-pack that came with Orion that I just showed you a second ago. But these are pretty much the same mold, just retoolings. Okay, so let's bring in here DevCon, which is from the Legacy line, similar size here to Orion. And the this is Twincast, I believe, from the Legacy line, which is a repaint of the blaster, essentially Legacy blaster, or what's known now as Studio Series 86 blaster. So again, a whole different lines, different you know, figures or whatever, but just want to show you guys so you guys can see what they look like. And let's remove them, and let's put in, here is another 2-pack figure. This is Dion. I believe this came with Ariel, and again, this is based on that same episode. You know, I forget the actual name of the episode, but it's G1 essentially. And here he is next to Cyclonus, which is Legacy Cyclonus, which again, you know, whole different line, different figures, but I think they look pretty cool together there. We'll move these two. And just to keep bringing in just some random figures, here is a G-Axis, which again I think is based on Marvel UK, and here is Tarn. So getting a little hard to fiddle for here, but you guys can see them there. Tarn, Orion, Center Shockwave, and G-Axis. So looking pretty cool. And then lastly, let's just do some comparisons to Shockwaves, or at least the Shockwaves that I'm familiar with. So here is a Shockwave from the Bumblebee movie, Studio Series, and here is a Shockwave as I know him from his G1 look. This is the comic version Shockwave, which is based on the G1 cartoon. It's comic version essentially with the additional paint details there. But again, what a huge difference, right? This is what I'm familiar with, this purple one-handed gun Cyclops guy, pretty much this guy here. And again, to expand the mythos or the background around the character, and to say that he looked like this, and the background around how he became that, as I explained earlier, is pretty interesting, a bit cruel. But again, we get to see how we go from a senator to a cold calculating bot here like Shockwave. And of course you could see him there standing next to Orion. So I think that's going to do it for this one, guys. If I missed anything, if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment. Otherwise, overall pretty happy with this 2-pack, expanding my collection here in different directions. In this case, the IDW comics, but Shockwave specifically is awesome. I love what they've done with the retooling. And Optimus here, not a bad little figure. But overall, again, thank you so much if you made it to the end of the video. Really appreciate your very valuable time. And I will catch you in the next one. Take care.